Okay, here we are now at the start of Holy Week, what everything about Lent has been really trying to build up towards, with the Sacred Triduum coming at the beginning of the Last Supper Mass on Holy Thursday, Palm Sunday, the beginning of this Holy Week. There is an episode that happened during the very first Holy Week 2,000 years ago on the Tuesday of Holy Week, which I think is very instructive to us about how we're meant to be living during this time of Holy Week, but really also just the Christian life thereafter. And it's the beautiful story of the widow with two mites. That here you have the rich donating to the temple treasury out of abundance. And she donating, despite being in absolute need, the two mites that she has. Now, in and of itself, the two mites is an entirely meaningless donation. It's like putting 2 pennies into the Sunday offertory today. What's that going to do? Nothing, quantifiably nothing. It will never pay an electric bill for even just one day at the parish. But yet, which of the donations, the rich donating out of abundance or the widow with two mites? Which is the one that is noticed by our Lord and pointed out as the one to model? Of course, the one that is quantifiably nothing. Because what God recognizes is the heart of the giver. Not so much the quantity given, but the heart of the giver, that interior reality. And that's really instructive for us during Lent for things like our almsgiving. How are we giving alms? Are we giving just because we have to, because the church says? Are we giving because we have an abundance so it won't be missed, it won't be noticed if we give something away? Or are we giving away in such a manner that it's an actual sacrifice, as with the widow with two mites? Sacrificing these two mites that she has to the temple treasury and then entirely reliant upon the Lord to provide for her thereafter. That's the same kind of spirit in which we're meant to give alms during Lent, but also the same spirit in which we're meant to live during Holy Week and the Christian life thereafter, a spirit of generous sacrifice. This is what we're building up to with the Sacred Triduum, at the heart of which is, of course, the generous sacrifice of our Lord on Good Friday. St. Thomas Aquinas writes that just one drop of the precious blood was enough to redeem us. Just one drop of Jesus Christ and his precious blood is infinitely meritorious because it is the blood of a divine person become man. And yet he chose to shed not just one, but every drop of blood to show how much he loves you. He is so generous in pouring forth his life. He is so generous in pouring forth his most precious blood. And that's the spirit in which we're meant to give in the literal sense of alms and so forth. But that's also the spirit of this Holy Week and really the spirit of the entirety of the Christian life. That it is meant to be one of generous sacrifice in imitation of the widow with two mites and especially in imitation of our Lord on the cross. So let us remember that as we enter into this great and most solemn time in the Church's liturgical year, that real spirit of generous sacrifice. Hopefully you've enjoyed these videos this Lenten season. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube page. There will be a lot more great videos to come in the months ahead. Take care and God bless.